Hi guys, welcome to my sewing channel once again. My name is Onyinyechi, and on today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to cut a fitted straight trouser, okay, or a palazzo pant as you may call it, with side pockets. So if this is something you like to learn, please stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe, okay. To begin, first we place our fabric on a fold, okay. Make sure you fold your fabric into two. Then after that, at the top side we're going to draw a straight line, okay. Now this straight line will serve as the beginning line for our measurement. Now when taking your measurement, when cutting the trouser, you take out your waistband. Now your waistband can be 1 inch, 1.5 or 2 inch. So make sure you take out the waistband from the beginning. So as for me, I took out 1.5 inch. I'm making use of 1.5. So after taking the 1.5 inch from the waist, I measured down to get my trouser length, okay. Now the trouser length measurement I'm making use of is 41, but I measured 43. This is because I added 2 extra inch for the folding, okay, for folding the trouser in. Now after doing that, I'm going to take my hip line measurement, okay. Now the hip line measurement I'm making use of is 9. This is because she's tall. If you are cutting for someone who is short or an average person, you can use 8, okay. Now please note, when taking your measurement, you have to start from the 1.5 inch measurement you took out from the band, okay, or 1 inch or 2 inch you took out as your band. After which you measure your crouch, okay. Now the crouch measurement I'm making use of is 11. For you to get your crouch measurement, you tell the person to sit on a flat surface, then you measure from their waist to that flat surface, okay. Then you take your thigh measurement, okay. Now your thigh measurement is 4 inch down from your crouch line. You go down by 4 inch from your crouch line, after which you take your full length measurement. That's the trouser length measurement, okay. So now we're going to take our horizontal measurement, okay. Now the first measurement will be starting from the hip, okay. You measure your hip, whatever you get, you divide it by 4, okay. The hip measurement you divide by 4. Now for the hip measurement, I got 10, that is 40, okay. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So what you do, you mark and you draw a straight line from your hip up to your waistline, then down to the crotch, okay. That is, you're connecting both the waistline, the hip line and the crotch line. And don't forget to add your sewing allowance, okay. I added sewing allowance of 1 inch, so 1 plus the 10, that's 11, okay. So as you can see, I'm just extending the horizontal lines, okay, so that my measurement can be very visible, okay. Now after doing that, on the crouch line, we're going to take our crouch measurement. Now to get your crouch measurement, you divide your hip measurement, the hip measurement which you have presently on your material, you divide it into 4. So after dividing mine into 4, I got 3 inches. So I added 3 inches in front of my crouch line. But if you don't do that, you can also get your crouch measurement by dividing your lap measurement into 2. Your lap measurement into 2. You can also get that by dividing your lap measurement into 2. Then you add half sewing allowance, okay, in front of it. So after doing that, you're just going to make a curve, okay, from your hip line connecting down to the crouch line, okay, to the end of the crouch line. You're going to make a curve from your hip line down to the crouch line, okay. Then you place your lap measurement from the thigh line, okay, and make sure whatever measurement you're placing, you add 1 inch sewing allowance, okay. Make sure you add your sewing allowance. So after doing that, we're just going to connect a straight line from the crotch line, passing through the lap measurement, then down to the trouser length, okay. So in order to make it not to look too big, to make it a bit fitted, I'll just go in a slanted form, okay. So next we take our waist measurement, okay. Now for you to get your waist measurement, you divide your waist circumference into 4, whatever you get into 4 plus 1 inch, that plus 1 inch sewing allowance, okay. Now your waist measurement, make sure you take it from the crouch line. You take your waist measurement from the crouch line. So after getting the measurement, you draw a curve from the waistline down to your hip, okay. You draw a curve from the waistline down to your hip. So after doing that, I'm just going to reassure that my measurements are accurate. I'm taking my measurement again. I'm trying to be sure that I took the exact measurement I wanted to take. Make sure you take your measurement again. Then after that, you cut it out. Okay, you cut out the front piece. Now this part we just measured is the front part of the trouser. Okay. So for us to cut out the back, you also place your material on a fold. Okay, you fold your material, then you place the front side of the trouser on the material which you folded. Now when you are placing the front on the back material, make sure you leave some spaces at the top. Okay, now when cutting the back, you go up by 2 inch or 1.5 inch from your crotch line. Okay, you go up by 2 inch or 1.5 inch from your crotch line. Then you repeat whatever measurement you have on your waistline, you repeat it at the back. Whatever measurement you have on your waistline on the front piece, you repeat it at the back. Okay, then you connect the lines from the crotch line down to where you marked your waistline. Okay, now after doing that, you're going to connect it from that waistline down to your hip. Okay, you connect it from where you marked your waistline on the back piece, you connect it down to your hip line. Okay, now when you're done with that, on the crouch line you add 2.5 inch. Okay, you add 2.5 inch or 3 inch, while on the other parts of the edges you add 2 inch. Okay, this 2 inch is just extra for the sewing allowance. Okay, on the crouch you add 2.5 inch or 3 inch, but on other parts you just add 2 inch. Okay, so when you just do that, you repeat it all around. Okay, when you repeat it, then you cut out your material. That's all for the back. So for the back, you go up by 2 or 1.5 inch. You repeat the exact waistline you have on the front, you repeat it at the back, then you connect it from the waistline down to your hip. Then on the crotch line you add 2.5 inch or 3 inch. Then on the other part you add 2 inch. That's all. Then you cut it out. Okay, now to cut out the pocket, make sure you place two materials together. Okay, right now I have two materials placed together, then you fold it. Okay, you place two materials together, then you fold. Okay, now after folding you measure. Okay, now the width of the pocket, the width, that is how wide the pocket will be, is 7 inch. Okay, the pocket will be 7 inch wide, then the length will be 10, but I'm making my length 11 because of I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance. Okay, I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance, so mine is 11. The length of the pocket will be 7 inches wide, 10 inches in length. Okay, but you add 1 inch sewing allowance on both sides, so that means you're making 8 and 11 inch. Okay, so after cutting it out, we are going to make a curve. Now for me to get my curve accurate, I usually measure it. Okay, I measure 2 inch or 1 inch in. You measure 2 inch or 1 inch in, then you make a curve passing through the mark. Okay, it's just to give the pocket a curve. Okay, you make a very simple curve, then you cut it out. Okay, it's very easy. So we are done cutting. You can see how it looks like. This is exactly how your pocket is expected to look like. Okay, now you place the two materials together, don't separate them, they should still be together. Then on the front part of your trouser, on the front part, you measure 2 inches in and 6 inches down in length. 2 inches in, then you go down by 6 inch. After doing that, you give it a curve. Now I'm giving it a curve because it's a female pant, is a female trouser, so that it doesn't look too manly. You can just slant it. Okay, now after doing that, you place it on one side of the pocket. Now the trouser are still together, the front part are still together. You are not to separate them. You have to place the two trousers together, the two pockets together, don't separate them. Then you just place it on the pocket, cut it out. That's very simple. So this is all on how to cut a straight fitted pant. Okay, so please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.